What's up, everybody? I know the zombies video has been out for a while now. Amazing video to work on. Editing it was a bit funky, but 6-hour video. Which video of that length is not funky to edit? But it was really fun. It was really fun to revisit a lot of these games. Some of them play them for not the very first time, but second time. So basically the first time. But now I wanted to rank the maps I played. Again, I didn't play everything. Cold War wasn't there, Vanguard wasn't there, but none of the non-Treyarch games were there. But like, I did play Cold War after that video at a friend's house, so I feel like I can rank those maps at the very least. I can have a slight opinion of them. Not the strongest opinion though, so I apologize for that. But I feel like I can rank them a little bit. So let's start with the big guy, the one that started it all, Nacht. I think Nacht is just fine, right? Oh, I didn't. Sorry, my bad. So obviously my favorites, and I don't think I need an explanation. Amazing is any amazing map. Will we take into account map design, replayability, overall gameplay, and as an extra stuff, it'll be like iconic map. How does it feel like playing with friends, like casual friends, co-op? The engine of the map, like the engine of the game, sorry, the mechanics of each game, like BO1, BO2, BO3, BO4, they all behave rather differently. They all have different things that it's not the fault of the map rather than the fault of the game, or it benefits through that game engine, let's say. But yeah, there'll be a lot of things. Again, map design, replayability, gameplay, content, like, Easter eggs and all that stuff. How easy or tedious or interesting to learn a map is. There's a lot of stuff here. So Nacht, that's why I think it's just fine. Right? Like, it started it all. It's really, really fun to play co-op. It's really, really fun to play on your own. I think World at War Nacht, I don't know if it's separated. No, I think it's only a version of each map. So I'll take into account like BO1 and BO3 versions of Nacht anyway. I think Nacht in World at War is the best version. I think the no perk version, the greediness of it, I think that's the best version you can have. I think that's the best idea you can have there. The BO1 version is also fine, and the BO3 one is also really fun. It's the same map after all. The thing is, BO3 adds Gobblegums and Wonderfeast, and it's like, you kind of ruin this sheer survival experience there. It makes the map easier in a way that I don't really like. But I think Nacht is just fine. Where you play solo, if you play with friends, it's even more fun. But yeah, I think Nacht is fine. Yeah, funny is easy. It's like, the map will be boring as all hell, but not necessarily good or bad. And funny is, a map is hilarious to play, even if it's really shit. Or really good. So that's pretty much it. I want to say it's a very unique tier list, right? I don't know. Map 2, we got Verrocked. I honestly... Let's see. I feel like Verrocked... I don't think it's the best map in World at War, because, that guy's there. But I think it's better than Nacht. I don't know if it's amazing, but it's very innovative. I don't know English. Like, it adds perks. The spawning room is actually very unique. If you're playing with friends, you spawn in different areas, and you have to come together. That's honestly very unique and very cool. It adds a lot to the co-op experience of the rock. So I think... Yeah, I don't know if amazing. I don't know, it adds a lot of stuff. I don't know. I'll pick it here. When there are more maps, I feel like then it's gonna be easier. Because, I can see this already, and this. So I'll rather just get them there. Shinonuma in World at War. I see Shinonuma Vanguard. I have not played it, but I assume it's the same thing. Shinonuma in World at War. Again, the BO1 and BO3 things stand. Like, BO1 and BO3, they have new weapons, but the BO3 makes it easier for all the World at War maps. So I don't want to repeat myself. I have like this weird relationship with Shinonuma because I feel like it refined what these two made, but at the same time I don't find it that interesting. I think it's good and interesting in the sense of, oh, you open a door and who knows what you get. But I don't like the randomized perks. And it's not a Shinonuma exclusive problem. Trust me, it's not a Shinonuma exclusive problem. I don't like when perks is like randomized. In Shinonuma, it bothers me the least because it's such a small map that it's like, okay, it's not here. It has to be in one of the other three options, right? It's not that tedious. Uh, I think I'd rather play Varrock than Shino. Yeah. And then here you go. uh, Even though, again, in the video, I died really early on the Reese, so I kind of want to be shit and do this. But no, the Reese is fantastic. It refines what all these three did. It adds Pack-a-Punch. It refines the fact that there is a storyline there. A crazy storyline, but there's a storyline. It adds character to the characters. The weapons, the Pack-a-Punch, the Hellhounds introduced in Shinonuma, they're far more iconic in the Reese, I feel, because of the catwalk. Well, actually, no. The Reese is one of my favorite maps, yeah. The Archon is Vanguard, I don't care. Kino. Well, I think I prefer... Back then I would have told you I prefer Kino. But now I will tell you I prefer the Reese. Because I think the Reese is a more complex Kino. But Kino is very good. Kino is like the zombies experience everyone remembers. Everyone remembers playing Kino on their own. Everyone remembers playing Kino with people and the Thunder Gun and the Monkey Bombs. And throwing the Monkey Bombs from the windows, what I mean. Like the 115, well, the Reese has beautiful annihilation. There's so much good stuff in Kino. It's a very simple map for modern standards, and we'll get there when we get more into like BO3, BO2, slash BO2, BO3, right? But the survival element of zombies was refined here, and it only goes either up or down in more innovative ways, right? I think these two are like the blueprint of what you should follow, and then add your random shit. But yeah, these two are like, it could be like this or like this. Right now, I'll tell you like this. Because I think the Reese has more complex stuff. If I put up BO1 and I'm with people, I will put the Reese, and then we can play Kino. Or if it's their first map, yeah, Kino and then the Reese. But I think we'll have more fun in the Reese. Then... 5. 5, 5, 5, 5. Honestly, I don't know why many people think it's a bad map. I actually think it's fantastic. Yeah, it's a hard map. It's a very tight map. The Wonder Weapon's not very good. But I think the idea of playing zombies in the Pentagon with people that actually existed, you know, Kennedy, McNamara, Castro, Nixon, I think that adds a lot of value to this map. Like, honestly, a lot of value. And the sheer thing of the same thing that Nacht has, you know, you finish the campaign, it's like, oh my god, a map? Like, with Nacht it hit more because it was like zombies, the new zombies. With I was like, holy shit, they're actually playable. I think the Pentagon Thief, it's a very unique map, but honestly, I love 5. It's very well designed, it's very hard. So I think this pair here is like Kino, and 5 is like, Kino's your intro, and then you get into 5, which is like the more detailed and developed map, let's say. And I think 5 is more developed, but Kino is more like for everybody, right? I think 5 is fantastic though. Ascension... Do I think it's better than 5? It's easier than 5, that's for sure. Oh, it added stamina about Flopper. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, new perks, new tacticals. You know, not only the Monkey Bomb. Now you have well, there is have the Molotovs, but the Gersh device is far more interesting than a Molotov. Then the Gersh device, the Matryoshka. The first map to actually have an Easter egg. It's a co-op Easter egg, so if you don't have friends, sorry, but like you have a mission to get there. You know, it's a very interesting map. It's easy, but I think it's very, very good. Call of the Dead. Call of the Dead. I think all of it is very good, but I don't know if I think it's better than 5. Like, I like a lot. I like the idea of George, right? I like George being a consistent problem. He consistently chases you, but it does make the map a bit harder because it's like, oh, if you don't know how to deal with George, you're screwed. I think, yeah, that makes sense. I like the aesthetic of Call of the Dead, even though it's like a bit gray when the mist comes. Like, there's nothing to see, but when the mist is cleared, it's very beautiful. I love ice levels, so Call of the Dead, I like it up there. Um, so Call of the Dead again, a lot of new weapons. They might be shit, but the Scavenger and the VR11, I don't. Yeah, Deadshot is new, I think, but it's Deadshot, so who cares? The zip lines, fantastic. They keep innovating, right? They keep making new things on top of this amazing base they built. Like, it keeps getting better and better. I think it could be either or, but I think Ascension more than Call of the Dead. If I had friends, I would tell them to play Ascension. The layout, I haven't gone into the layout too much here, but the layout of all these maps is fantastic. It's very easy to understand. Not easy to master, though. The more you play, you realize more stuff that you can do with training and camping and your weapons and how to handle this and that and whatever. But the layout of all these maps is fantastic. It's very clear, very concise. The one thing, 5, for example, the teleporters are random. I don't like that. But for Call of the Dead, the zipline being consistent and telling you, hey, you're going from the ship to the lighthouse, to here, to there. Fantastic, fantastic, easy to learn design. Now the thing is, you need to survive. It's not easy. The boat has Jug, and getting to the bottom of the boat is really tough. Jug's like the big reward here compared to Pack-a-Punch. Pack-a-Punch is just there. But they realize surviving is harder when you can't tank that many hits. So they put Jug in the tough spot. And I think that's fantastic. Shangri-La is very funny. Again, funny doesn't mean good or bad. Funny means funny. You play this map for a great time. It's hard. This map is hard, but it's really fun to play. The difficulty and how random it can be is really funny. The layout, again, the layout is very simple. It's a very close quarters map, but it's a very complex map in its mechanics. Pack-a-Punch, if you're playing co-op, everyone has to stand on the tiles. The spikes, learning when the spikes will come, dealing with the maze, the mud maze, the platform, and then suddenly shut off. You need to learn how to deal with all of that. So it's very interesting, which makes it very funny. The same with Moon. I think Moon... Actually, I think Shangri-La's... No, well... You're on the moon. I think this is far more funny. Moon is crazy, dude. I honestly, nowadays, I'll say Moon's harder than Shangri-La. I don't know. Like, Shangri-La, you have all the special zombies, the Napalm, the Freaker, and all that. But I think dealing with the Moon gravity, and the helmet, and the hacker, and the astronaut, and the excavators, I think that's way harder to deal with than Shangri-La. I feel like I learned Shangri-La's layout very well. Moon, it took me longer to understand. It's not difficult, but it's far more difficult than all these. I don't know about this. I think Moon's harder than Shang, but when you're playing Moon co-op, it's a fantastic time. It's so funny. Transit is funny in a very bad way, but it's very funny. I think it's funnier than Shang. The boss is funnier than Moon. Don't get me wrong, Transit is awful, right? Awful, awful, awful map. Hideous map. I don't think I need to explain to you why Transit is so hated and bad. But I can't deny that it's so funny. When you're playing co-op in Transit, it's probably the funniest experience you'll have in Zombies for all the wrong reasons, but it's so funny. Man, Transit, what the hell even are you? But during the pandemic, with a few friends, we were playing like all the other BO2 maps. And one is like, oh, let's play Transit, and we were like groaned. But then when we were playing Transit, we were having a blast for like abandoning each other on the bus stops and whatever. It's very funny, very bad. Like, bad fun. But it's fun. Bus Depot, get out. It's like Nah, but far less interesting. There's nothing to do here. Boring. Farm is kinda dull. Like, it's better than Bus Depot, But farm is like eventually you get bored because you can't do shit in farm. It's like it's so tight and you have such little room that you can't do anything. Like camping eventually doesn't work. You don't have unless you have the Mark II DLC. You don't have any wonder weapons. Neither are you doing town or Nuketown, but we'll get there. The thing with town is no. The thing with town is I have such nostalgia for town. Like town's like my favorite survival map. I have such nostalgia with town. Like the round 13 Gobble Knuckle strat, the fire pit, the EMPs, Paga Punch being in the middle of lava. It's such. It's all based on nostalgia, but it's one of my favorite maps. It's such a fun time playing Griffin Town. Oh my god, Griffin Town is so good. If you can get 8 people to play, we did that during the pandemic. It was honestly the highlight of the pandemic to me. It was fantastic. It's weird to say highlight of a pandemic, but I would have lost my mind if it weren't for town. That's kind of dark now that I think about it, but it's true. Nuketown is hilarious. I will not hear otherwise. I don't think it's that funny. But Nuketown's tough and funny. Like, you're playing... I love Nuketown. Like, I love Nuketown in multiplayer. So seeing Nuketown in zombies, I love it too. The thing is... it's weird. It's really tough because, again, randomized perks I don't like. They come from the sky, they land every 5 rounds or so. But it's a funny map because of how difficult it is and how bullshit it can be either really easy early on because, you know, you can get Jug and Pocket Punch. Or it can be really tough because you don't get Jug until like round 25. And playing with people is always chaotic because Nuketown is such close quarters. It has the same chaotic energy from multiplayer. I think that's very, very well done. But this map's so funny. I don't talk much about layout in the survival maps because, like, they're really small. I don't think there's much to talk about. Die Rise. I don't think it hits the funny spot Transit hits. Yeah, I don't think it hits the funny spot Transit hits. Because, yeah, falling off buildings is funny. But the layout and navigating this map, it gets so boring and confusing. Like, I get it, there are 2 towers, and each tower has different floors, and different floors look different, but it gets so confusing at one point with the elevators and the stairs and where they take you, and where you can actually jump from one building to another, and then this and that. From a casual standpoint, it's very difficult to figure out. I feel like nowadays I figured it out better, but it's really hard to figure out for a casual player. If I had people here, right now, right next to me, right? And we're playing zombies, my last pick will probably be Die Rise. Or Transit. But these 2 I will not take people at first time zombie players, right? If they play zombies back then, maybe then yeah. But first time, no. 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 Not at all. No. Yeah, that Rise, the layout is so confusing. Not having Flopper, I think Flopper will improve this map a lot. Not from like a, oh, you fall to your death point of view, but like, there are some falls that even if you don't insta-die, Flopper will be very useful. The Nova Jacks are annoying to deal with. I don't like them jumping around all over the place. The Silicon Fire is very fun to use though. I would say the Silicon Fire is very well designed. But Who's Who's funny. But yeah, no, get Die Rise out of here. I love him with my life. I would surrender all my personal possessions to Mob. The layout, it's a big map, right? It's probably the biggest map we've ever had. Outside of Transit, but the biggest map you can get to on foot. With your Transit, you can run around or whatever. It's not recommended. Mob, though, it's a big map, but it's based around Alcatraz Prison. That's fantastic. That's so cool. Then, learning the map is honestly not that difficult. It's very intimidating at first. I remember my first time learning the map. It took me maybe until like round 7, 8 to fully understand what was going on. But I managed to learn it on my first match. Then everything else was replaying it to do things differently, to do things better, to get different weapons, because the weapon pool in this map is so unique. Death Machine, AK-47, the Blundergut, upgrading the Blundergat, getting to travel to the Pack-a-Punch on the plane. It's a very unique map, a very well-designed map. Even if it's bigger than all the other maps, it makes... I feel like this is where zombies becomes like pure survival to like missions. But I think this one blends it very well. You can survive in the prison, you can survive on the bridge, or you can do the Easter egg if you want. Or you can do all the spork, the upgraded Blundergat, the this and that, and shield, and blah blah blah. But the fun thing, the good thing about Mob, you don't need to do that. Like, if you want to do it, it's there for you to replay and learn and give you more content. But you don't need to do that to have a good time. During the pandemic, there were friends that never played BO2, and a few friends that had played BO2 a long time ago. And I said, let's play Mob. Like, we all had the DLC, so I was like, okay, let's play Mob. The guy that didn't know BO2 zombies, he probably had a blast. He was so impressed by the map, by the detail, by the weapons, by Brutus, by traveling to Pack-a-Punch. He was very impressed, and he didn't think it was convoluted at all. He then, the following day, he sent me like photos and messages and whatever, and he's like, man, Mob is really, really fun. Buried, the goat, the underground cowboy goat. So cool, such a cool map. The layout, again, it's a smaller map than Mob. And at this point you probably know Jason Blundell and Jimmy Stalinsky, different teams, different maps, blah 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 blah. You know that story. Buried, again, blends the casual and hardcore experience so well, like Mob. But it leans more towards the casual experience because it's a far easier map than Mob. Paralyzer Mark II and exploiting the witches for extra perks and the bank. It's far easier. And Leroy. It's a far easier map, but that doesn't make it less interesting. You have the chalk, you have all the pathways up top, you have the witch house, you have the maze. It's very well designed. The maze is a bit bullshit, but it's a maze, right? It has to be bullshit. But the cowboy town itself is very, very interesting. Very well laid out. It's like you have a section here, a section there, all split up by mountains. You can order it. But if you have the paralyzer, you can actually just hop in. Very, very well designed, very clear, very easy to learn. But it's hard to master all these little tricks. How to use the paralyzer, the time bomb, how to use Leroy to get buildables and all that. Very, very cool. Very cool. And it doesn't make it as tedious to build because you can give Leroy a part, a drink, and he's like, got it, boss. I'll build this. I'll build this fan you want. It's very cool. Yeah. Not saying anything new here, am I? Probably the biggest map so far. I don't know if it's bigger than Transit, probably not. But it's very big. But yeah, the new era of zombies. I say it starts with Mob, but Origins like with a character, with premise, and all the storyline and whatever. This is like the reboot. It's very, very interesting. Honestly, it's a very well designed map. At first, it's very intimidating. Like, this same friend I told you about Mob, he was like, man, Origins is tough to learn. But I'm so hooked. It is very hard to learn at first if you're like really casual. But once you learn it, it's like, wow, this isn't half bad. This is actually very cool. The one problem I would say is it's very formulaic. You know how I said Mob, you can get the Blundergat, you can do this, that, blah, 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 but you don't have to. Origins, it kind of feels like you have to. Like, you're severely encouraged to build the staffs. Not all of them, but you're very encouraged to build the staffs, upgrade them, blah, 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 blah. It's like very Easter egg heavy focused. It's so replayable, so rich with content, so interesting. Such a cool setting too. Like World War I. All these other maps were like World War II, which obviously. But World War I, it's such an interesting concept. I wish more shooter games did this. Battlefield 1 did it and it looks fantastic. It's such an interesting setting. But the stuff's obviously once you build them, it takes a while. But once you get them, it's like, yeah, this feels rewarding. Like, all this time I spent, it gives me a really sick weapon. It's so cool. Yeah, definitely one of my favorites. Totally not biased at all. Totally not. Ghosts go. Oh, I actually played Point of Contact. Ghosts. I guess I'll put them in Never Played, even though they're not zombies technically. I did play Outbreak too. It was very boring. I don't remember much about it, uh, uh, I'm kidding. Shadows of Evil. Probably one of the maps I had the most love-hate relationship with. I remember learning this map, and I was like, man, this is such bullshit. This map is huge. This is also boring. This layout is so confusing. All this map looks the same. Now, honestly, I really like Shadows. I don't like it as much as these other maps, but I really like Shadows. I think it's a really weird map. The layout is actually very clear. You have these 4 areas on your main area. The Apothecon Servant's a sick wonder weapon. It's a bit too out there, but I love the Cthulhu theme around Shadows of Evil. The town's beautiful. Like, the whole city looks fantastic. Probably the best looking map ever. Such an interesting map. It's a lot more setup heavy. I feel it's very setup heavy, kind of like Origins. The thing is, Origins is like all the setup gives you the staffs, while here all the setup gives you Pack-a-Punch. Like, yeah, you have to turn on the 6 generators here, but it gives you power and a way to Pack-a-Punch. Here is like you need to get all this and do this and that, and then you get a Pack-a-Punch. It's kind of like a bit tedious from time to time, but once you learn, it's pretty fun. So yeah, I'll say this map's amazing. I don't see it as like my favorite or anything. I definitely, it's not one that I replay often, but it's very, very fun. Quite a fun time. The thing is, it's a very long commitment map. Once you learn the map, it's worth it, but it's gonna take you a while to learn it. The Giant, honestly, I prefer the Reese just because of the greediness and the feeling of the Reese and the weapons in World at War and BO1. But the Giant's basically the same thing, so same shit. I did not grow up with BO3. So most of my zombies experience before last year was actually World at War, BO1, and BO2. I don't have a PS4, so I never played BO3. I don't have a PS4, so I never played BO4. So BO3, I got into BO3 a lot last year when I built this beautiful PC that I'm recording with right now. EE, the Reisendrach, immediately clicked. Where Shadows of Evil didn't click as much with me the first time, the Reisendrach clicked almost immediately. It hit that sweet spot that Mob and Origins did in an easier way. Like, this takes a lot from both of these. You know, the dragons, feed the dragons to get to pack up, to get the bow. Then that bow you can upgrade it into 4 different bows. So it mixes both of these and makes it as easier to understand map. I love these two. I think they're easy to understand eventually, but I think you'll understand the Reisendrach easier than Origins, at least. Maybe not Mob, but Origins, yeah. So that's why I feel like it's an easier Origins. And Origins is fantastic. So the Reisendrach is also fantastic. Then the Gobblegums, you can break the map, obviously. That's why I feel like with these BO3 maps, some of them I want to knock down a peg because of Gobblegums, but eventually you do pick what Gobblegums you want to use. Fuck, even if you don't want to use Gobblegums, you can. It'll make the experience harder, but you can not use them. But clearly they're designed around Gobblegums, which is a bit of a pain. But I think the maps are so high quality that it doesn't matter. I hate Gobblegums and elixirs and all that stuff, but I think the maps carry themselves on their own. So, easy to understand layout, interesting layout too. The whole German castle or whatever, it's so cool. The Return of the Panzer, which we are around 8 meme, is here. Fantastic. Lovely. Setsubo no Shima. Oh boy. Fun fact, I only did the Easter eggs like on my own for the Reisendrach and Setsubo. Well, Mob, but Mob's like kind of a weird in-between. Origins I never did to this day. I hate Setsubo. Well, not hate. Hate's a bit too rough. I like, and this I have so mixed on this map, dude. I think the layout is very good. You know, left area, middle area, bunker, right area. I think that's fine. My problem with this is there are so many parts to get, and you might be thinking, oh, but you like Origins. Yeah, but the parts are always in a consistent spot. Dig through ice rounds, get to the robot, kill a panzer, shoot a plane, get the 6 generators. And the lighting is like, they're always relatively consistent. But Setsubo's like, they're not in all over the place, but they're in such little areas. It's like, oh, where is all of this shit? I needed a guy to build a shield, dude. It was that confusing. The setting of the map is fantastic. Like this cursed, fucked up jungle in Japan. I think that's great. But it didn't hit with me. It doesn't hit with me. I will never take my friends to play Setsubo. It doesn't hit with me at all. I'm not a big fan of it. I think it's a fine map, but it's definitely not one I would like to replay. Do I like this more than the E? Do I like it more than the E? I think it's a kind of like yeah, I do. Gorod, it's like the Reese on BO3. Like, it's not simple. Honestly, this map is very simple. The thing you'll have like the hardest time is getting to Pack-a-Punch, which is because you need to wait for the drops and get these little lights and get them and then defend a capsule that falls and whatever. Other than that, this map is very easy to understand. And not only is it easy to understand, there's a lot of content here that keeps pulling you back. And it's such a fun time. It's a fantastic time. The Russian World War II Stalingrad setting with dragons flying around. Like, yeah, it gets a bit out there. It's like, how did we get here from the Reese to Gorod Trophy? And I'm kind of in that camp too. But when I'm playing Gorod, it's like, holy shit, it's so beautiful. This is fantastic. This is so much fun. It feels like it's based around purely shooting. And that's what I think zombies should do more. I just want to hop in and shoot things. Maybe give me a quest here and there to get a super cool weapon. But that's it. I think it's a perfect casual map, and I think BO3 needed that. The other casual map is Giant. And the Reisendrach is easy to understand. But Shadows definitely wasn't easy to understand. Setsubo definitely wasn't easy to understand. Gorod, it clicks in a way that Mob kind of clicks too. So yeah. My favorites list is kind of big. But honestly, I love all these maps. The Giant feels kind of redundant, so just take this as a one map. It's the Giant's here because the Reese is here. It could easily be in like the Giant list and not counted. But yeah, I love Gorod. Layout, amazing. Layout, easy to understand. Content, there's content, you know, the helmets. Getting the specialist dragon thing, doing the Easter egg, getting punch, all that stuff. Then Pack-a-Punch is easy to understand and get. The weapons are fantastic. The return of the PSH, the Mark III. It doesn't look like a Mark, like a ray gun, like a Mark, like a ray gun. Like the ray gun 1 and the ray gun Mark II. Yeah, you can see the parallel. Like, oh, clearly it's a sequel to this. But then you look at the Mark III. It's like, I get it's a prototype. Like they didn't fully develop a Mark III. But I would rather have like a Mark III variant that looks more like a ray gun, like a finished Mark III. So, but it's a cool weapon. It's really cool. Revelation. So this map, honestly, it's not hard to understand. At first, it looks really intimidating just because of all the settings. But actually playing it, it's like, oh, this isn't half difficult to understand. Like, this is the one map I was like, oh, I don't need a guide. Cool. Like, yeah, there's a lot of things that you'll need a guide for, like getting all the masks and all that. But getting to Pack-a-Punch was actually very easy to me. This map gets a lot of shit. I'm not like placing it here fully. Give me a sec. This map gets a lot of shit because it's like a rehash of not all of them, but like most of these maps here. It's like it has Nacht in the middle, it has Origins on the left, and Mauve and Baroque, and blah 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 blah. But playing the map itself, like, yeah, visually it's a bit confusing, and you're hopping around these islands or whatever, so it doesn't feel very connected. So that's a problem with it, but the layout itself is actually very clear. It's like, oh, on the left you have Origins, Mauve, Baroque, on the right Shangri-La, Kino, the Reisendrach, and they all meet in Nacht through these portals. That's a thing though, it feels like they're not connected. It feels like slightly smaller survival maps all connected through Nacht. And that kind of hits it. But playing the map's actually very cool. Like, if you're a zombies fan, like a long time World at War zombies fan, and you see all this stuff together, it's like, we've come a long way. All of it is here. Which means this map's easy as fuck. Thundergun, ray guns, Apothicon, Little Arnies, which are monkeys on steroids, masks that increase your durability, your speed, gobble guns, Wunderfist, shield. There's a lot. So this map is easy, but that means there's a lot of content too. And not hard to do content. I don't think it's amazing though. Again, it feels very disconnected, and it does feel like an asset dump sometimes. But I'll probably put it here. I prefer Baroque. But yeah, I'll probably put it here. Infinite Warfare, nope, nothing here. World War II. I don't remember the names. I think I played Grostenhau. Is this the survival map? I think it is. If it is, it was actually kind of like worse now. This is like the cabin, right? Like the very small path. Yeah. I have played a lot of zombies now, I realize, but this is all like non-Treyarch, whatever. Go fuck yourself. Yeah. I'm sorry, Voyage is just... okay, so it's cool that we're on the Titanic. I think that's a really cool setting. I think that's a fantastic idea. Oh my god, we're playing on the Titanic. Oh my god, that's so cool. I like that. That's honestly my favorite thing of the map. Playing on the Titanic. The problem is when you're playing on a ship. What do you think a ship is? Long. Long. It's tight as fucking here. It's the floors, like there's so many floors, and all of them, it's such a big map and such a tight map, and there's such a variety of zombies, which in a sense it's cool, but at the same time they throw so many of them, like the guy with the axe, the Blight Father, the elemental zombies and all that. They throw so much shit at you. It's like, fuck off, stop. Please. Sure, you have the specialist to get rid of all of them, but stop throwing all this random shit at me. You're too confusing. Honestly, as it's a ship, it shouldn't be that hard to understand, but it is very hard to understand. It's a very difficult map to understand. I don't get what happened here. I don't know. Were they too focused on like making Easter eggs for the community to find? What happened? It feels... Not only is it boring, it's hard to understand. It's a ship. How is it hard to understand a ship? I'm confused. I'm very confused. But yeah, that's Voyage of Despair. I don't want to play it ever again after that video. Honestly, I will never take anyone to play it. Like, I wouldn't play this with casual friends unless they're like really invested in... Oh my god, well, I want to play on the Titanic. But if not, it's like... No thank you. 9 on the other hand. Yeah, I don't know if I like it more than Call of the Dead. Nah. Doesn't mean it's not good though. 9 is glorious. Fantastic. So, again, I feel like it hits the same spot Gorod does, in the sense of, oh, it's the Reese, but more complex. Like a modern the Reese. Because it's, again, 4 areas by the 4 gods, a central area, and a bottom area that connects all of it, where Pack-a-Punch is. Getting to Pack-a-Punch is very simple. Just kill 4 dudes, or 4 trials. Then, the Orion's kinda whatever as a weapon, but the setting of being a coliseum, a stadium, really cool. Again, very taken away from the scientific World War II setting. But on its own, like in a vacuum, pretty good. If BO4 system kind of takes it down a little bit because, you know, specialists, elixirs, and whatnot, but just mod, like, download one of those unlock everything mods if you really want elixirs and just go nuts. But yeah, I love this map. Very clear layout, easy to understand, but complex enough to keep going back. Replayable, the shield's not hard to build. The casual map BO4 needed because Voyage was not it. And Blood of the Dead, if you have trouble understanding Mob, you'll have far more trouble understanding Blood of the Dead. So this is where we get into a bit of a complex topic. BO4, half of BO4 was all remixed from older maps. You know, Mob of the Dead, 5, Nuketown, and Call of the Dead. And I can actually pull them together. I know it's not the order, but I want to deal with Ether right now. So, as remake, for example, Blood of the Dead, as a remake, it's worse than Mob because it took that complexity, that complex mix of casual and hardcore. Like, Mob, I feel like it handled that very well. Mob, Blood, I feel like it leaned too hard onto like the hardcore. Like, oh, Easter eggs, oh, the large map, so get 50 things to do whatever. Oh, where's Pack-a-Punch? Who knows? No. No. Also, they took the bridge out. Fuck you. But most of it's still Mob of the Dead. And honestly, I don't mind the new areas. Like the Richthofen lab and the power supply, whatever the area's called. I don't mind the catwalk. I think the catwalk is fucking stupid. But everything else is like, I don't mind it that much. There are not areas that you'll go back to consistently. So layout-wise, it's kind of stupid. Because it's like a beginning area that you rarely go back unless you're doing the Easter egg. Or building the Magmagat, which I love the Magmagat. Fantastic idea. Other than that, it's like, why is this here? So it feels like waste of space and time of the player. Like, oh, I have to go through this only to get back to Mob of the Dead. Layout-wise, yeah, it kind of poopy, especially compared to Mob's amazing layout. But it's still Mob of the Dead. So I think maybe Shadow's a bit too high because I prefer Blood, but I wouldn't call Blood amazing. Yeah, that sounds better. Yeah, I prefer Baroque over this. Yeah. Again, Shadows is really good. I just prefer all these other maps before it. And yeah, even Blood because Mob. So that's the thing. I feel like the remake, it added things that you don't need. But it added more content. So that's cool. Too bad that the Easter egg, I don't care about the Easter eggs. I know the Easter egg is awful, but I won't talk about it because I don't care about the Easter eggs. I'm not an Easter egg guy. I'm more of a casual hardcore, I guess that makes sense. I played a lot of zombies, but in a very casual sense. I don't know if that makes any sense. But yeah, I love Mob, so Blood having most of Mob, pretty good. But it made Mob more tedious. There's a lot more. The Pack-a-Punch teleporting is such an annoyance. I hate when Pack-a-Punch and Perks teleport and or random spots or whatever. And when you don't have any visual cue. Blood doesn't have... Pack-a-Punch doesn't have a Call of the Dead lighthouse to tell you where Pack-a-Punch is. Imagine if Call of the Dead didn't have the lighthouse to tell you where Pack-a-Punch is. That would be stupid. It is stupid. Classified. Okay, so I know BO4 is not everyone's cup of... Personally, it's like, whatever. Oh, Jug's gone. Okay, that sucks, but whatever. Can I still shoot zombies? Yeah, I can. Okay. Is it easier? Yes. BO4 is actually a very easy game, I think. But Classified, I feel... Whatever 5 got wrong with it. For example, the teleporters. They teleport you to a random place in 5. Classified tells you where you're going. Classified added the Moon spawn area. Obviously linking the storylines and whatever, but seeing Moon there and being able to clear the boxes to get the Winter's Howl, pretty cool. Seeing the Winter's Howl being better, it's still kind of shit, but better. It was amazing to see. They added a few areas, but those areas make sense. Like they added this security room in the main Pentagon floor, I guess you can call it. Not the main office, but the one before the lab. They added that. And it flows very well. It's like a silly room. It has a teleport. It has a defcon switch. Flows very well. Not the most like crazy with the remakes. This definitely felt like a just remaster 5 and throw a few rooms in there to say we remade it. But I love Classified. Also, the Classified intro, beautiful. But yeah, if 5 was amazing, I think Classified made it a better 5. The only thing I would change in Classified is the weapons. I don't like BO4 weapons outside of the Heon Salve. I like the Heon Salve. It's so stupidly broken. But if I could put BO1 weapons in Classified, probably. But as it is, these are like my top 5. Alpha Omega. Would I rather play Alpha Omega or Setsubo no Shima? Probably Setsubo, considering how many times I played it for the Easter egg. The one cool thing Alpha Omega has is the different Mark II variants. But they're annoying to build. Like, on a casual level, I think they're annoying to build. So, context, right? Alpha Omega is a remake of Nuketown. The thing is, Nuketown, obviously being a very small multiplayer bonus map, it has fuck all to do. It's just a silly little multiplayer map. That's great, that's funny, that's hilarious. Alpha Omega took this funny map and made it really serious and big and whatever, and it's such a boredom now. So, what Alpha Omega is like the neighborhood surrounding Nuketown, and under that there's a bunker. So, unlocking Pack-a-Punch is a pain. You have to go through all this like cleaning and whatever and following this voice that talks to you and whatnot. And then once you unlock it, it can lock itself back up. And then turning on the power is annoying, and the hounds are annoying, and the teleporting fuckers are annoying. Most of this map is an annoyance, and it's so boring. I love Nuketown. Multiplayer Nuketown, Zombies Nuketown. And Alpha Omega made me hate it. Honestly, I would put it in Get Out, but I don't hate Alpha Omega. I think it's just boring as fuck. I fall asleep playing Alpha Omega. I think that if I could take the Mark IIs and put it in literally any of these other maps, I would do it in a heartbeat. The layout, it's not that confusing because you actually have like a lot of maps around the map. They're like, oh, this left side has house, ba 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 ba. But Black Ops 4 did this good thing, in my opinion, that the bigger the maps got, they added up on the left, like, oh, you're in this room or this area. Honestly, I wish BO3 had that, because learning BO3 without that was a bit confusing. But that helped, like, to orient myself. But I don't like the layout. I don't think it flows very well. Yeah, boring ass map. Tag. Well, it's Call of the Dead for one. Yeah, honestly, I feel like Tag has this... Yeah. Tag has this thing where it's kind of like Classified, where the remake didn't add a lot of new things. It had like a third power switch, a new area with the lab, and where Richthofen had MC Taki and Nikolai there. That's about it. You don't really go back there unless you're doing the Easter egg. You don't go back there, so it's kind of, again, waste of space, kind of like blood spawn room and whatever. But other than that, it's I think a more beautiful Call of the Dead because you have the sunset and you can actually see the map more than not. It fixed a problem BO4 had where you had to Pack-a-Punch like 5 times for you to get the best version of your weapon. They added Gold Pack-a-Punch, which works as literally Pack-a-Punch before BO4, which is honestly pretty stupid. But whatever. I thought they would add Gold Pack-a-Punch to Blood, Classified, and all the other maps. They didn't. That's stupid. But it's a really fun map, honestly. It feels... The problem with these two, with Alpha Omega and Tag, you can feel the budget cuts. You can tell by playing the map, because I think it wasn't even made by Treyarch, right? It was like taken somewhere else, and they made it, right? It feels cheap. It feels something's missing. Not like content and reference and whatever, more like essence. I don't know, like soul. It's lacking soul. Like the zombies fun But Tag is very well made. The thing is, it feels cheap. It's a very good map because layout and gameplay. It ended Ether, regardless of your thoughts on the story. But it feels, I don't know. It actually, yeah, it feels very cheap to play. It's a good map. I don't know if it lacks something. Maybe it's the weapons. I don't know. Maybe it's like BO4 feel overall. I'm not sure. Fuck you. Where would you go? I recognize this is not a bad map, but I'm a hater. A very big hater, actually. So Dead of the Night, I find it a very confusing, big, large map. There's a lot to do. So if you're a hardcore zombies player that likes doing everything in a map, I might actually like it. Problem is, first off, this map had no marketing. Like, I don't know if they didn't have faith in the map or what happened. Zero marketing. Then, but that's like back then, right? And now it's now. The map, I honestly find it very confusing to navigate this mansion. Every room to me looks the same. I know they don't, right? I know the rooms look different. The different floors, the different exits and whatever. I get that. I get all of it. But this map looks the same to me. I think the setting of the mansion is fantastic, but it looks all very confusing to me. It's hard to learn. It's hard to master. Once you master, it's probably really fun, but I can't see that. As of now, 2023 Fran hates this. So no. Punch, you have this weird soul box, and then look into this crystal and figure out what clock I'm talking about, which is not the hardest thing in the world, but you have to do that 3 times. It's kind of a nuisance. In the video, I didn't find the third signal. But yeah, I wish I could like this map more, because I see the potential, but I don't see it. Ancient Evil, however. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, 5 is 5. I love 5. So yeah, Ancient Evil. Again, it's like DE in the sense of it's an easier origins. You literally have someone telling you, seek the wonder weapon part in this area for you to then do this. It really wants to help you out. Feels like they wanted to get more casuals into the hardcore side of zombies. And I think it actually does that rather well. It's very clear on what it wants you to do. It's very clear and it flows very well. You have like 2 areas that are connected by Pegasus taking you there and then a portal, which kind of sucks. The Pegasus cutscene rules, but then the portal kind of sucks. It feels a bit disconnected there. But other than that, the map layout is very clear. Very, very easy to understand. The shield is very easy to build. Pocket Punch is very easy to get. And the gauntlets are probably the best wonder weapons ever, like in terms of raw power and potential. But the effects they cause, they're really, really good. I think this map's very good. The Machine, this is Cold War, so I'm sorry if my opinion gets a bit iffy here. I don't have, again, I played each map like once. I'm sorry. The Machine, it's a reboot of zombies, right? And the thing they do is they get knocked and make a big bunker. It's definitely aimed to casual people. Like, they literally have this marker telling you, hey, go do this. On that end, it's easier to do. But on the other hand, it's like, it doesn't feel like zombies. That's why I don't have Cold War in that 6-hour-long video, because I don't own it, because I don't want to own it. To me, this isn't zombies anymore. To me, this is like a mission game that happens to have zombies, which isn't bad, but it's not Call of Duty zombies to me. Even more exemplified by Vanguard and now Modern Warfare 3, which is the Warzone map with zombies in it. So, I don't know, man. The map, the machine, it's fine. It's not. I just don't like the mechanic. The weapon, the rarity of the weapons, kind of like Fortnite. Them telling you what to do exactly at all times. I like knowing what to do, but you don't have to tell me. Kind of ruins the mystique. of all the other maps. Even the simpler maps, the reason was like, wow, this big ass teleporter. What happens if I go here and then go back to the base? You had to figure that out. It's not hard to figure out, but you had to figure it out. The machine's like, hey, click this. Oh, there's Pack a Punch. No Pack a Punch animation. It feels kind of soulless. If BO4 already lacked soul sometimes, here's like even more exemplified. Fire by DC, fuck you. You are the bane of my existence. um, Power was cool. I'll say Power was actually cool. Okay, I should talk a little bit about this. Firebase C is like, I think the map was worse layout than the machine. I think that's the only reason why I don't like it as much as the machine. Because the rest felt, all of Cold War feels the same to me. Again, I played it once, so I'm sorry if this is inaccurate, but this is just the opinion I got from my first impression. All of Cold War, all the maps feel the same, but the layout changes. Which sounds like any other video game, right? But in Zombies, it feels like, oh, but I just did this. But Firebase C has a worse layout, so why would I do this? It was more confusing to figure Firebase C out. Outbreak is like open world zombies. I don't think it works with the formula of all the other games setting it up. And Forsaken has the Revelations problem of all being disconnected by teleporters. I think it's whatever. Yeah, I don't have a strong opinion in any of this. Fuck it, so. So this is my list. Maybe I could have gone more in detail in some places, but yeah, here's my list. I feel like there's a lot I haven't played. There's a like non-Treyarch and Vanguard shit, so who cares? Yeah, all of what I have played is here. No, not the most consistent list because again, one Ghost map, one Advanced Warfare map. I know, but this is what I played. Should I stick to the ones I did in the video? If I were to stick to a list of the maps I did in the 6-hour long video, then it'll be. And that's it. This is the list on maps you saw in the 6-hour long video. So this is my list based on what I played for the channel. But the previous list, the list you just saw a minute ago, was the list on things I played overall, even outside of YouTube. So I hope you enjoyed almost an hour long. Wow. I'll see what I can do. It's gonna be a long video. But yeah, see ya. Take care and thank you. Goodbye.